Hey guys, what is up? Inazilla back again today with another video. Today we're going to be talking about all the brand new moves in the Isle of Armor DLC expansion. But before we hop into that, let me just say, subscribe to my channel. You don't want to miss anything that I upload. It's the best way to keep in touch and keep updated. And yeah, it helps me, it helps you, so why not just click on that button. Anyways, let's get into this. So, let's begin now. The first move we're going to be talking about is Expanding Force. And what Expanding Force does is it doubles the power of the move when it's in psychic terrain. It is a psychic type move, so that basically makes it super mega powerful. So imagine you're in singles and you're fighting a male Indeedee, because male Indeedee has higher speed and special attack. Slap a choice scarf on that guy, just spam Expanding Force and hope there's no dark types on the other side and win. That is Expanding Force. It can be used in doubles too. I've seen like male Indeedee and Alakazam combos just spamming Expanding Force. And yeah, it is super powerful, and I don't know why they put that move in the game. Next up we got Steel Roller, which is a steel attack that does 130 power. The user attacks while destroying the terrain. It fails if there's no terrain on the ground, so it comes in and destroys terrain. It pretty much removes grassy terrain, misty terrain, psychic terrain, and what's the other one? Did I say grassy terrain? It removes all the terrains. So yeah, it's there and it does that. It's super powerful, but it will fail if there's no terrain. So it's nice to have in your back pocket, but it might fail if you do. So it's there if you feel you really need to get rid of terrain. Next up is Scale Shot, which is basically a dragon type spike cannon, rock blast, bullet seed kind of move. Let's just read the description. User attacks by shooting scales 2 to 5 times in a row. The move boosts the user's speed stat but lowers the defense stat. So it's also got kind of like a weak armor mechanic built into it too. So it might be good for like Pokemon like Druddigon with Sheer Force, because Sheer Force might remove that effect. I don't know. I'm thinking more of like Pokemon with Skill Link, like Cloyster, which could be really good if it gets this move. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. But yeah, it's there. It's a dragon type move, so Pokemon like Haxorus and stuff will probably get it. Meteor Beam. This two-turn attack, the user gathers a space power, boosts its special attack stat, and attacks the target on the next turn. It's got 90 accuracy, 120 power. That might seem really overpowered. It's kind of like Skull Bash. Skull Bash boosts your defense and then you attack the next turn. But this is more potent. It boosts your special attack. I'm not sure what kind of move that is, what type. Meteor Beam. Is that what we're looking at? Yeah, it's a rock type move, so that's interesting. For if you've got a special rock type attacker, might want to put that item on it that makes it so that it's not a two-turn attack. I forget what it's called, but Xerneas carries it. White Herb? I think that's it. Next up we got Misty Explosion, which is a fairy type move. The user gathers everything around it and faints upon using this move. This move power is increased on misty terrain. Not sure by how much, but it's only 100 base power and it's got 100 accuracy though. It's like Explosion but less powerful. You want to be in misty terrain when using this, so it's a two-edged sword. I don't think it's that good, honestly. You don't want to faint. Next up we got Grassy Glide, which is a priority grass type move with 70 power, but it only goes first if it's in grassy terrain. Otherwise it's just like a weaker seed bomb kind of thing. So it might be good on Pokemon like Rillaboom or Venusaur. Yeah, that exists. Might be good for proccing a weakness policy on something in grassy terrain, but it's really powerful too. So I don't know about that. You might be hurting your partner Pokemon too much in doubles. Anyways, next up we got Rising Voltage. That is an electric type move. I'm not even gonna check its typing. I know that's electric. The user attacks with electric voltage rising from the ground. This move's power is doubles when the target is on electric terrain. So it's basically Expanding Force but electric type. Yeah, slightly less powerful. I don't know why they did that, but okay. Next up we got Terrain Pulse. It only has 1 PP. That can't be right. That's totally not right. Terrain Pulse. it's got 10 PP. Okay, thanks Bulbapedia for this page being wrong and you fixing it, or well, not fixing it, but letting us know the true PP of the move. But yeah, Terrain Pulse. It's basically Weather Ball, but for terrain. Its type changes depending on the terrain it's in, and its power gets doubled. Otherwise, just a base 50 power normal type move, and yeah, it could be used. It's like people who run Weather Ball on their Venusaur to get a fire type move in the sun, or it turns into water type move when it's raining. Yeah, it's useful. People will use that. Next up, we got Skitter Smack. The user skitters behind the target to attack. This also lowers the target's special attack stat. Alright, 70 base power and 90 accuracy. Skitter Smack. That sounds like a bug type move, and it is, and it's physical. So, that's kind of like Struggle Bug, but more reliable, but less accurate. But yeah, people will use that, I guess. Next up, we got Burning Jealousy. Burning Jealousy. The user attacks with energy from jealousy. This leaves all opposing Pokemon that have their stats boosted during the turn with a burn. So that's kind of nasty. It's only got 5 PP, but what it does is if say there's this Haxorus on the other side of the field, Dragon Dancing or Swords Dancing, you go for Burning Jealousy and you burn it, and then it kind of negates its boosts. It's not going to do a lot of damage, but it's going to negate their boosts, and they'll have to spend more time boosting up to kind of make up for that. So yeah, it is, that move is kind of not okay. It's gonna be abused in doubles with all of the stat changes and stuff, especially from Dynamax moves, which would like boost your own stats like Steel Spike and Max Knuckle and stuff. So that's nasty. Next up, we got Lash Out, which, let's read the description. User lashes out to vent its frustration toward the target. If its stats are lower during the turn, the power of this move is doubled. So it kind of discourages you from using like Intimidate, because if your stat is dropped, then your Lash Out is double power, and it also like discourages people from using like Max Phantasm and Max Wormwind too, because those moves drop power, and then Lash Out will hit them for even more power. So basically this move exists because people were using Dragapult to drop Wormwinds and Phantasms on things, and you could probably one-shot Dragapult with like an Incineroar or something using Lash Out. So that exists, and it's kind of busted. We'll leave it at that. Poltergeist, that's definitely a ghost move. The user attacks a target by controlling the target's item. The move fails if the target doesn't have an item. Huh. So it takes the effect of the other person's item? So like, say the other guy's Life Orb, you'll just get the extra Life Orb damage. Will you get hurt from the Life Orb too? That's interesting. Okay. Kinda, what am I trying to say? Kind of a big brain power move, I guess. Next up, we got Corrosive Gas. The user surrounds everything around it with highly acidic gas and melts away items whole. So it removes items. It's not knockoff because it doesn't have any base power, but it removes items. So I don't know if that affects everything in doubles or not, but that exists, and it's kind of silly. Anyways, next up we got Coaching, which is bulk up, but you're not bulking up the Pokemon. It's using bulk up, you're bulking up your partner Pokemon. So that is definitely a doubles move, because you don't want to be boosting your enemy's attack and defense for them. That's kind of silly. Next up, Flip Turn, which is a water type U-turn with 10 less base power. So okay, it's nice to have more pivoting moves. More people will be using that. I can imagine Urshifu, like the water type Urshifu, will be using that. Like choice ones at least. Next up, we got Triple Axel, a consecutive 3 kick attack that becomes more powerful with each successive hit. That sounds like a fighting type move, and am I right? Triple Axel. It's ice. Okay. So it's like triple kick, like with Hitmontop, but excuse me, not really. I wonder if it's like 50% per hit. So 20 base power one turn, then 50 the next, and then 75 the next. That could be really good for like a, what am I trying to say? a physical ice attacker, so like Weavile, that will be better than Icicle Crash if all 3 hits land. Anyways, yeah, that exists and that's kind of busted. Dual Wing Beat. The user slams a target with its wings. The target is hit twice in a row. For it's sounds like a flying type dual chop. So that's okay. Yeah, it's flying type definitely. Scorching Sands. It's basically a ground type Scald. It's got a 30% chance to burn. And a lot of, I know a lot of fire type Pokemon get this. Charizard gets this, Torkoal gets this, Ninetales gets this. So that basically gives them a good ground type max move to use. Which it will be especially good on Charizard. It can also inflict burn by using a ground move, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, it's kind of busted too, honestly. My opinion on all these new moves, I don't think they were necessary and they didn't need to be put in the game, but they give us new toys to use, new things to learn how to not get beat with, new things to learn to beat people with, and yeah, I'm honestly not a fan that they did this, because the game was fine already, but a lot of people are gonna enjoy it. Gotta like relearn almost everything again, because people will be using stuff like Expanding Force and what's that ground move, Scorching Sands. Yeah, so yeah. Anyways, that's just my opinion. You're allowed to have a different opinion than me. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.